I can see you.
Oh, great. Does everybody see that? We now have Mark Bernstein on the floor, and he's with Merchant Services. We recently had a vendor who was looking for merchant services like for the past 2 weeks, and she signed up with somebody. I said, you should have waited waited until this summit because we had a person for you who possibly had a better deal, but we don't know. We'll find out. But nevertheless, I'm giving the floor now to Mark Bernstein for
Thank
merchant.
you. And it's all about timing. So um, I missed out on that one. That's okay. Eventually they'll come back around and you never know what happens. So Angelica, I want to thank you and I want to thank Jerry Hunter for inviting me to be part of the summit. Um, and then I look forward to meeting many of you and seeing how we can help you grow our businesses. I'm going to go ahead and try to share my screen here. I haven't done this in about a year and a half. So let's see how this works.
Okay.
All right. Can you see it up there, Angelica? You see it?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, perfect. So my company is called Payments Plus Merchant Solutions. A little bit about me. I've been in the merchant services industry for just over 10 years. Prior to that, I worked in retail management at some of the box stores for 17 years. So a lot of experience with business processes, wearing multiple hats like a lot of small business owners do, and then interacting with vendors. So I've got a lot of experience in there. It was time about 10 years ago to step away from that and get out of the get away from the kind of the corporate minutia of that and do my own thing. And I've been in the merchant services space since then. That background has helped me really work well with independent business owners because I know the struggles that they're going through on a day-to-day basis. I can appreciate it. I'm respectful of it, empathetic towards it, and it helps me really help put them in the right position to grow their business. A lot of people don't know what merchant services is. It's simply just anything having to do with moving money electronically. So if you have a retail presence or an online store, or taking payments electronically through credit cards, Apple Pay, etc., merchant services is the driver behind that. So a lot of what we do, credit card processing is the core of it. It's really about setting people up with a merchant account, making sure that it is cost effective, making sure it's the right setup. Everything I do is customized to the business that I talk to. A lot of my competitors have a cookie cutter approach where they'll treat a restaurant or a doctor's office or a warehouse exactly the same, but those businesses have different needs. What I do when I meet with somebody is sit down. I want to learn more about their business, what they're doing today, where they want to be a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, to make sure we're setting them up on the merchant services side for long-term success. That may be putting a point of sale in a retail establishment or a restaurant. That may be helping them with e-commerce payments if they're taking payments online. It may be setting up gift card programs for them to create more brand recognition, brand loyalty, and driving their future business. It could be funding their business to help them with expansion. Um, and then, as I mentioned, everything we do is customized. Not going to be a one-size-fits-all approach. I am not a credit card processor. I am a merchant services company. So what that means is the way I explain it to folks is look at my company as your local State Farm or Allstate independent agent. We are the local presence. We're located here in Chicago, although we do work all over the country. I've got customers in 9 or 10 states who I've never met personally, but we do everything virtually. Um, but it's that local presence, local source you can go to with the power of the giant companies on the back end. So I only partner with some of the largest businesses in our industry in processing, equipment, point of sale, funding, and gift card status. So I've worked with probably 20 to 24 different payment processors since I've been in the business, done a lot of vetting, weeding them out, ended relationships with ones that didn't have the same philosophy as I did as far as small business grow, and really honed in on those that we were aligned in what we think makes sense for the communities we're trying to help. Angelica, when you and I first spoke, one of the big things that came up was gift card branding for D9 businesses or naliaZONE members. And we have gift card programs that can help promote those businesses. One thing I did, I went with my gift card partner, which is called Factor 4. They're one of the largest gift card um, companies in the industry. And I said, listen, I've got an opportunity and I've got a company called naliaZONE I'm working with, all D9 members. We'd like to get some kind of branding out for them. So what we've done is, and I'll get to it in the next slide, put a couple promotions together for your members. But gift cards in general is a huge opportunity to grow sales, attract future business, and again, grow that brand awareness. Branded gift cards are huge. The best part about branded gift cards is that when somebody comes in to redeem a gift card, 60% of those are going to spend more than that value of the card. So if you receive a card for $50 as a gift from somebody, you're likely going to spend more than that when you redeem it. That's additional revenue into that business. And those customers, now you've got an opportunity to turn those into repeat customers. That one-time gift card transaction can be a huge way to grow repeat traffic, which every business wants. It's a lot easier to service repeat customers than it is to attract new ones. And gift cards. Online gift cards is also huge. They've really grown in the past few years. They grow by 65% just this alone over last year. They're becoming a lot more common. Online gift cards or electronic gift cards can be sold from a storefront or from a website, and then emailed to the recipient. That recipient that would redeem it either online or in store. The gift cards themselves can be branded with the company logo. So a naliaZONE company can put their personal information, their logo, their name, address, phone number, etc., on the gift card. There are preloaded templates, which you can see on the right of my screen. And there are a few dozen of those to choose from, where you can just add your logo with your contact information. There are also fully custom cards, which is a blank slate. You can actually create yourself online. All of the artwork can be uploaded, and then it gets sent into Factor 4. They create the cards, send them out to you. I did have a conversation with them and said if we wanted to do something where all the naliaZONE members also have a little banner on the card that says naliaZONE member that's uniform, we could create something like that, or D9 business or anything that you guys think might make sense. We can have the conversation, and Factor 4 can create that for us. So when you add your branding to it, anyone that goes out to you knows that you are a D9 business. Gift cards can be sold in any denomination, and a lot of functionality. So the offer that we came up with, because obviously the gift cards themselves, the physical cards have to be purchased. For the next 30 days, any naliaZONE member or referral from a naliaZONE member that wants gift cards, we're going to do a buy one, get one free offer on the physical cards. You're going to save quite a bit of money in getting ready for the holiday season, which it's kind of depressing to say that in August, that we're almost ready for the holidays, but we're getting close. There's some Christmas merchandise going up in Home Depot already, which is crazy to me. But naliaZONE members that are interested in branded gift cards will be able to get buy one, get one free offers until the end of September. And they can reach out to me directly. And typically what I would do is connect with my contact directly at Factor 4 with that business owner and let you guys coordinate everything, just to make sure it goes smooth. And a lot of what we do outside of gift cards is point of sale solutions, art terminals, virtual terminals, and e-commerce platforms. I'm not going to go through the whole list on the left side. You can read that. But business who's really being serious about trying to grow that doesn't have one of these systems in place is really missing out on opportunities to grow the business as well as buy back some time. We all know that small business owners, never enough time in the day. And when you can automate a lot of your processes through the right systems, you're buying back the time, and time is money. So the value in putting a point of sale system or e-commerce platform into your business, setting it up correctly, which we help with, and then really watching your business take off and allowing you to do what you do best, which is market and sell. Shift4 Shop, and I went on the naliaZONE site, and I clicked on a handful of the businesses, and a lot of them are e-commerce businesses, which is great because that's where the world, everything is as I'm sure Eric Tucker can attest to from the previous uh, station. So Shift4 Shop is a complete e-commerce platform. It's very much like Shopify, which many people are familiar with, or Squarespace, people are familiar with. The biggest benefit over those is that there's no, you work with a Shopify account, you're paying setup fees, annual fees, monthly fees, hosting fees, and the support, depending on the level of support, may have additional costs as well. For Shop, you get all the features of Shopify without any of the expenses. From start to finish, it's completely free. The only thing you're paying for is when you do sell something online, you pay the credit card processing fee just like you would through Shopify or Squarespace. It's a do-it-yourself type of platform like Shopify and Squarespace. There is support to help, but it really is driven by that business owner to create it. The amount of tools that are in this blew me away when I first saw it about a year and a half ago. Um, and you can really build out a very, very SKU intensive or service intensive website. Very thorough. You can track inventory. It helps manage your SEO. Now, if you're not going to work with a fully customized site, like something that Eric can do, this is a great opportunity. If you do have a fully customized site with someone like Eric or a current site that you have, we can also plug in the processing on the back end. A lot of those custom sites by default will use Stripe or Square, which is not always the most cost effective as a business starts to scale. They're very simple to plug in, which is, I think, the lure and why people use them. But if you have a custom shopping cart integration through a traditional processor, long term, you're going to save money and a lot of times have additional features to drive down costs and improve customer engagement. So we can provide Shift4 Shop to you at free for no cost if you don't have an e-commerce site. If you already have an existing site or want to build out something custom with a web professional, that's fantastic. We can tie in with that as well. And typically, I would ask you to connect me with a web developer in that case, and I would work directly with them for the payments and shopping cart integration if you went that route. But Shift4 Shop is a fantastic platform. If you do have an existing site like a Shopify and we're interested in Shift4 Shop, they do offer migration assistance, meaning they'll help you move everything from your Shopify site from inventory, products, customer database, all over to Shift4 Shop. That part can be a little confusing and time consuming. But you got an established site already with some traffic going through there. Shift4 Shop support will help you migrate that to make the experience a lot easier for you. So SkyTab POS, this may apply to some of the members on the summit today, and it may not. This is for the food and beverage industry. I understand that naliaZONE members may have other businesses which they're a part of, whether they own them or they have connections. A lot of them in the food and beverage space. SkyTab POS is the best value in the entire industry in the food and beverage space. Point of sale system for restaurants, bakeries, bars, etc. Benefits. Same company as Shift4 Shop from the previous slide. Shift4, by the way, is one of the largest processors on the planet, and they do a lot in technology. So Shift4 POS for the restaurant space is a completely free point of sale system with a ton of free features like online ordering, QR code, DoorDash integrations that all cost extra at other with other POS systems. But the great part about it right now is they're making a big push towards the end of the year where businesses who install SkyTab can actually qualify for a $5,000 sign-on bonus as long as they meet the criteria listed on the right here. If they don't meet the criteria, they can still qualify for 12 months of free software once they install, as long as they install by the end of the year. If you know a restaurant who may benefit, as long as you're not an owner, you can't get all the but if you refer a restaurant in who installs SkyTab POS, You as a referring party will receive a $2,000 bonus. That goes through mid-November. After that, it goes down to $1,000. But they're really trying to drive awareness of this product. There's about 10,000 restaurants currently using this, including every restaurant at the United Center. Half the restaurants are Wrigley Field in Chicago, the Houston Texans Stadium, one of the stadiums out in Phoenix. So a lot of high volume, high traffic locations are using this. It's also very good in counter service restaurants, quick service, coffee shops, etc. So if you are involved in the restaurant space at all, or if you have friends or family who may be, this may be a great opportunity. I'd love to connect with you or with them, see if it's the right fit. Those local in the Chicago area, I can come on site and actually do a live demonstration. Those a little bit further out, we can jump on a Zoom and do a full-blown Zoom demo, get all the questions answered. But I sell a lot of point of sale systems in the restaurant space. This is by far my favorite from a cost standpoint for the business and a feature standpoint to help them grow long. The last thing not the last thing, but the last thing I want to touch on briefly is we do offer funding to help businesses grow. These can be in the form of a cash advance, a term loan, a line of credit, or if you've taken advantage of the ERTC tax credits, which many of you may be aware of. If you've taken advantage, have been approved, but are still waiting 6 to 12 months to get that money, we could actually advance that funding to you if interested. You have to already be approved. And that's a little bit different conversation, but the option is there. But businesses looking for capital for their business, we can provide as an alternative source, typically for people who either don't want to go through a bank for a variety of reasons, or maybe can't go through a bank for a variety of reasons. It's an alternative source of funding, typically tied into your revenue. So if you're doing $20,000 a month in your business, you can typically get between 90 and 120% of your monthly volume, as long as you meet some limited criteria, which is on the screen. And those conversations we had offline as well, one-on-one to see. But there's an opportunity. We do a lot of these for small businesses who are either looking to expand, whether it be through marketing and building a new website, whether it be through hiring, training. Did one recently in Chicago for a taco restaurant who wanted to buy a food truck. So we get him the funding to buy that food truck, and that'll get paid back over the next 12 months as that business. So if you or other businesses that you're aware of are in need of funding to help themselves grow, or just dig out of a hole, maybe you've got some bills you're behind on, or some inventory to catch up on, that's what the funding can be used. So a lot of ways we can help in the merchant service space for small businesses to drive income, drive revenue, drive brand awareness, and hopefully watch you guys grow and come along with it. So that is it. There's a lot more that goes into what I do, and those are best had in one-off conversations. I will tell you that merchant services in general is a very complicated business, intentionally so, because the general thought process within this industry, which I don't typically agree with, is the more confusing you make it for someone, the less likely they are to leave. They're going to stick with the devil they know. I tend to be a little bit overly transparent. Some people say I give away the secrets for free, and sometimes I do, and I don't mind that. I enjoy doing consulting, and I've consulted for hundreds of businesses that I did not end up working with directly. But it creates trust, and sometimes they come around, it comes full circle, and they work with me later on. Sometimes they don't work with me, but they refer me to somebody else because they know that I'm going to tell them what they really need. I've turned down the opportunity to work with some businesses because it just wasn't the right fit at the time for them. I thought where they were made more sense. I'm always willing to tell you that. There are some businesses that are just too small, and starting out with something like Square makes sense. But as you scale, you talk to somebody like me, and there are some that have just super complex plates that we may not be able to integrate with, or make sense from a cost-effective standpoint. And I'll always advise the merchant what I think is in their best interest. It does me no good to sign someone up without the best for them because they're just going to leave. And that doesn't work for either of us. So I've got no problem answering questions. If we can work together, fantastic. If it's not the right time, that's completely understandable because there will be other opportunities. So that's it. That's it for my rambling for the day. I'm going to stay on for just a little while, but I am traveling today, so I'll be getting off the summit here in a little bit. My information's on here. Email is probably the best, just because I've got a lot going on. Text is fine as well, but if you do have an immediate question, um, you're certainly welcome to call me. That is my cell phone. If I don't get your call right away, I'll certainly respond. Um, but that's it. If there are any questions briefly before I jump off, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I look forward to connecting with as many of you as possible.
Hey, Mark, this is Eric Tucker. Quick question. How long does it typically take to set a business up with the point of sale solution?
Are you talking more of a brick and mortar restaurant retail?
Kind of restaurant retail, like if I did have someone with like food truck or, kind of in that space, is it,
Sure.
how long is that process?
Typically 1 to 3 weeks, depending on their needs. I just did my first food truck. It's just a simple mobile handheld device connected via Wi-Fi or 4G with a very limited menu. And that got signed last Friday, and they'll have it installed on Monday. If it's a more complex menu, or if it's a full serve restaurant with multiple POS stations, some handhelds, kitchen equipment, it might take a couple more weeks just for the setup, but typically 1 to 3 weeks is a safe bet.
Okay, and the other question is, would the business owner set up their own menu, or is that part of the setup that you do? I mean,
Yeah, that's a great question. So we take the menu from the business owner, we have it preloaded for them. We'll typically take a PDF from the business owner with their actual customer facing menu, and then we'll sit down. There's always going to be more stuff on the side, right? What are your different toppings, your special requests, your bar menu, et cetera, which won't be on the customer facing menu. And we'll put that into a menu template, have that uploaded by the POS company themselves. And then depending on which POS, so the SkyTab POS, which I just talked about, for example, we would have a Zoom call with that business owner prior to installation, review that menu with them so they can see their actual menu and request any changes at that time. Our goal is, once it comes out of the box, to be at about 95% ready to go. There will always be a little bit of tweaking, which is done during the setup and installation and training standpoint. And we also like to leave a few things off, minor things, because we want that training to be done during that setup process, because that's how that business owner is going to learn, because they've got full access to manage that stuff on their own after or if they need it. But most business owners like to doing that, changing prices, adding, changing menu items throughout the year in real time. It is cloud-based as well. They can do it remotely through a back-end portal or on-site at the restaurant.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks. We'll be in touch.
Thanks for the question.
Mark, going back to the gift cards, can the D9 vendors, going back to it, I know you spoke about naliaZONE doing it as well, but can the D9 licensed vendors create or have their own gift cards?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be either or, it can be a combination of the two. Obviously, I'm new, right? Angelica, you and I just met very recently. I've known Jerry for a long time.
Yeah.
But as we move forward in our relationship, learning more about how D9 and naliaZONE really work together would help. But yes, 100%, there could be branded for naliaZONE members, branded for D9 members, and they'll all qualify for the buy one, get one program through the industry.
Okay, so that is something to think about, vendors, because the holiday season is coming, it's approaching. And not only do the D9 members buy things, but our family and friends as well. So those gift cards would come in handy. So consider doing a gift card for your business, but naliaZONE will also delve into the gift card business, where you honor, if you wish to honor, the gift cards that are coming to you. And they're guaranteed sources of income, because a lot of times, like they said, some gift cards go unspent. I hate to say that.
No, you're right, Angelica. And that's one thing I meant to touch on is the last number I saw, something like 24% of gift cards that are purchased
Yeah.
go unused. The great part about gift cards is, as the business owner, you get that revenue the day they purchase the card, not when they redeem it. So if that card goes unused, that's free money in your pocket. Now, ideally, every card you sell gets used, right? Because you want to drive in that traffic, create the brand awareness, and get those repeat customers. But the reality is, some of those will go unused, and that's money that goes right in your pocket, right? And it's free money, and you turn around and you put that either in your pocket, take vacation, or build a business with it. But the majority of them, about 3/4, will get used. And out of those 3/4, 60% of those will spend more than the gift card value. So there's a lot of money in gift cards. And I never did a lot of gift cards my first few years in the business, but the last couple of years, especially since COVID, with all the online, everyone going online, I've done a lot more work with gift cards. And Factor 4 is the best that I've come across as far as the quality, the turnaround times, and the customer.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Mark. And this
Thank
is
you.
Mark Bernstein from Merchant Services, Payments Plus. We have his information up on the screen with the telephone number and the email if you have any other questions. And also, you can drop questions in the chat box and he'll tend to them during the summit while he can. Thank you, Mark, and safe travels as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to go. This is what I would like to bring to the floor right now. Now, naliaZONE, this is not a gift card right here. This is a collegiate members digital rewards card. And this is an effort to make a big push for our Generation Zers and millennials who are still on college campuses in those chapters of ours and all, because we do need to increase our collegiate members. So this little digital card, it works almost like the AARP card. It's nothing more than a digital or a physical card that has an ID number. And we're looking for vendors who would be willing to honor any of our collegiate members who would like to use this card for certain discounts. I will talk more about this later in the resource area and the advents group and the creamery group for vendors. The vendors will have full control of what they want to offer, the discount they want to offer. If they don't want to do or honor the card this week or next week, but they want to honor it for a month or honor it all the time. So you'll have full control. I am looking for vendors who are willing to honor the collegiate member digital rewards card. You're in full control. So if you're interested in this, please drop it in the chat that I'm interested to get more information. And also share this with other vendors as well. So the digital rewards card is one. The next thing I would like to talk about is naliaPalooza. naliaPalooza is scheduled for September 15th and 16th. It is a 48-hour sales-a-thon. If you all remember the Jerry Lewis telethons that he used to have, put that in akin to that. naliaPalooza allows vendors to come within 10, 20, 30-minute segments to show off off their best, apparel and products. And what we do is all throughout the day, there are lives like pop-ups, and some can send videos. You can do sales, you can do 10-minute sales, discounts, whatever it may be. naliaPalooza will be coming up on, again, September 15th and 16th, and more information is forthcoming about that. Okay, so we'll come back to Jerry. What I would like to do is that I would like to introduce Eric Lee Usher, and he's in business development and marketing as well. The name of his company is Prophytes, and he's been in the industry for 11 years. I give the floor now to Eric Lee Usher of Prophytes.
All the above. Hello, Sora Jones.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. For the vendors that are still with us, I'm actually going to do something for y'all. But let me give you a quick introduction of who I am and why what I'm doing matters. I am the founder of Prophytes, which is a social networking platform that allows us to connect and build. We have established this thing known as D9 economics. And I'm pasting my message in the chat now. So D9 economics is something that we coined, and this, what naliaZONE doing is exactly what D9 economics is. Leveraging our combined resources, oh, by the way, I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, 2005, charter member of Omakona Mega Chapter at Clayton State University. And what we're doing with Prophytes is we're building an ecosystem of Divine Nine members that have businesses, professions, what have you, that allows us to kind of come together and really leverage each other's letters. Because I don't know if you all have experienced this, but whenever I travel, whenever I do business, whenever I hire somebody for any type of service, the moment there's a D9 association, it's an instant connection. So what I sent you all is the link to prophytes.com. What we're doing is we have a vendor section there that we're going to make available to our members. And I've already told Auntie Sora Jones that all members of the naliaZONE community will be the first D9 vendors to have access to this. And I sent you all my email address. So when you all create a profile, go ahead and send us your website and the organizations that you're licensed with. And what's going to happen is we're going to kind of add you to our directory so that our members can easily purchase. Because what we've discovered since we've kind of launched 10 years ago, what we discovered is a lot of D9 members want to do business with D9 members. They just don't have a valuable resource like naliaZONE to determine whether someone is in fact a member or a verified vendor. So the way the platform works is you can't even use the platform, post on the platform, create a business on the platform without verifying that you are in fact a D9 member. Once you verify that you are a D9 member, then you have access to the entire suite of the application. And the reason why this benefits you all right now is because it's free marketing for your business, and we're going directly to your target audience. And we as a company, we're spending money on getting members to download and utilize the application, and we're upgrading it insanely. We're upgrading it like crazy. Like every week, starting probably next month, you're going to see an update that's just going to make the community happy. But we really want to build our own kind of Wall Street digitally with Divine Nine. So the Black Wall Street is being revitalized online. So that's what Prophytes is. I wanted to keep it brief because I was going to go into kind of providing some kind of value as far as how to determine your ROI for your businesses. But there was a lot of great speakers that already kind of touched on a lot of good points and good things, understanding KPIs, your numbers, your analytics, all that was amazing. So that information kind of just took the cake. So I just want to be a resource for naliaZONE vendors and understand that. Please email and tap in with me. I know this is kind of casual, but this is definitely something that you're going to say, oh, I remember when he talked about this. And naliaZONE vendors will have the first access to it. So that is my gift to the naliaZONE team. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric Lee Usher from Prophytes. And we will have his links and what he's also pasted in the chat in our special space that'll be available to you even after the summit. Eric Lee Usher of Prophytes, thank you for your presentation and your contribution to this summit.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have Jerry Hunter from Biggs Radio available now? Mr. Jerry Hunter. Okay, I think he stepped away again. While we do that, I would like to do, let me go back to our view, the gallery. And what I would like to talk about are the homecomings. Homecoming season is coming up, and that is another great way to expand your reach if you're participating at some of these homecomings that for 2023. I know that Bluefield State University, they are looking for vendors. They actually, somebody, a lead, actually contacted me the other day because they wanted to get a list of vendors, or they wanted to get their video or their call to action out for those who would like to vend at Bluefield State University. So please stay tuned for that. But does anyone who's on the floor right now, would you like to share a homecoming that's coming up that you know about? Just dip in right now or plug it in. You don't have to put it in the chat. Just tell, well, you can put it in the chat, but also tell us any homecomings that you know about. Okay, well, you can always put it in the chat. Is Mr. Jerry Hunter available? If not, we can go on with the next person. Kimberly Alford, are you there?
I am here.
Would you like to present a little bit earlier, or you want to wait?
That's perfectly fine with me. I'm good with it.
Okay, let me get to this one right now.
Because I think she said my name while I was talking to you.
Oh, yes, we did. We've been looking for you. Okay, and Kimberly, we're going to come back to you after Jim.
All right.
Okay. We have,
So,
let me see.
okay,
Hold
I've got the screen, I've got the Zoom on, I've got her. How do I let her know I'm available? I mean, I'm tuned in. Or
I
does
see
she?
you. We see you.
Oh, you see me?
Yes, let me introduce you. Hold on for 1 second, okay?
Let me go, Mark.
Let me introduce you.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, I was tuned in. Okay, hold on a second. I
Okay,
was just speaking with my business associate, Mark Bernstein,
uh-huh.
who just presented with the merchant services.
Okay.
And I'm trying to pull myself. Okay.
Okay, let me introduce you. We
All
have
right.
now Jerry N. Hunter of Biggs Radio. He's a digital and marketing specialist or expert. He's here from Biggs Radio Detroit. I'm sorry. Look at me. I'm already skipping. He's here from Biggs Radio Chicago. He's been in the industry for 10 plus years, and now I give the floor to Mr. Jerry N. Hunter of Biggs Radio.
Good morning, everyone.
And let me put you on the view. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, D9 family. Jerry Hunter, the director of marketing for Biggs Radio, which is owned by Dinah Lynn Biggs, who happens to be a member of Delta Sigma Theta. She happens to be the first Black woman radio station owner in the state of Indiana. She's also the president of the National Black Radio Hall of Fame Chicago chapter. I've been associated with Dinah Lynn since about 2017, working for an internet radio station. I was an account exec, she was the DJ, and around 2020, she decided to take an investment and purchase her own license in the state of Indiana. And she purchased a license and it was available in Indianapolis, Indiana. And so now it's called Biggs Radio. We started in Indianapolis. We're now 4 radio stations: Chicago, Indianapolis, Atlanta, and Pasadena, California. My little short presentation is going to be just on 10 good reasons to advertise on radio. And so if you're going to advertise, you should, it makes a lot of sense that you should spend your advertising dollars where you get the most results. And that's going to be radio. Here are the 10 reasons given by the Radio Advertising Bureau why advertising is a good source. Number 1, advertising sells with intimacy. Research shows that radio reaches consumers usually within 2 hours of their largest purchase of the day. Now, there's no better time that you can reach a customer than when they're in their car, they're listening to the radio, they have their cell phone, and they're on their way to a store getting ready to make a purchase. Okay? Number two, radio sells everywhere. Radio is the only true mobile medium. In a car, at work, at play, radio is there. It's the companion, and the advertising, it kind of forces that customer to basically, you're taking your ad everywhere you go when you advertise on the radio. In your personal life, when you have something very important to communicate to someone, you want to show them a picture, you want to write to them, you want to talk to them with intimacy and emotion. Well, that's what you have on radio. I took radio production and radio announcing at Kennedy King College in Chicago. And my radio teacher was V103 radio personality Joe Soto. And one of the things that stuck with me was that radio is theater of the mind. And I think you remember, before television, people used to just line up in front, sit by the radio with fire chat talks, and they had radio programs, The Lone Ranger, different stories. You can really get a message across to customers through radio. Radio kind of escapes the advertising cluster of newspapers or ad copy. Okay, it's very easy to use. About 10 minutes of advertising an hour. Excuse me. Today's radio, I'm sorry, devotes about 10 minutes of advertising per hour, and devotes less than 1/5 of its time in ads. So it's uncluttered. Radio is a very cost-effective medium. Newspaper rates are up, even though circulation is down. TV ad rates are up, even though viewership is down. Radio advertising costs far less than any other form of advertising. The reach is nice, and the frequency, but the frequency sells. Okay. Newspaper and TV are reach media. They reach various numbers of people. Psychologists tell us that consumers need to be exposed to an advertising message at least 3 times before that message penetrates. And there's a fact that I learned about Coca-Cola. I think when Coca-Cola first began, they only sold about maybe 50 bottles of soda that year, okay? Because nobody knew what Coca-Cola was. Today, and I don't have to tell you, Coca-Cola has had, since you've been born, you've been seeing Coca-Cola commercials, you've been seeing it in print, you've been seeing it on billboards. Repetition sells. So the most local businesses can't afford to spend, 3 times the money to have frequency on television, to pay for news ads and everything else. But radio, you've got reach and you've got frequency of having a message go out there, and people will hear it, whether they're in their car, they're on their phone, it doesn't matter. Radio is target marketing to sell. Okay. Radio's variety of formats allow you to pinpoint your advertising on a certain station or stations that best match your customers' interest. Now, that's been personal for me because I have associates that have 8 or 9 different profiles of radio stations. So if you like old school and dusties, if you like hip hop, if you like blues, if you like jazz, you can target that particular market with your particular ad on the radio. I happen to know of a station that has 9 different targets that you can advertise that same message, but you can hit different markets. So it's kind of, when you advertise in a newspaper, it's scattershot. When you're advertising on TV, somebody's got to see that ad, and it's too expensive to have more than one commercial. But on radio, you can have a commercial that comes on 5 or 6 times a day, and people are going to hear it. You can have something in the drive time. You can have something at lunchtime. You can have something in the morning. so people can hear your ad. You're always front page with radio. With radio advertising, you're front and center in the listener's attention span when your ad is on the air. You're never buried on page 42 if you're in a newspaper or something. You're never surrounded in a magazine by competitors' ads. With radio, you're always on front page. And finally, radio is an active medium in an active society. Passive forms of advertising simply list merchandise or tell you where the product is available. Radio is active medium and it's capable of stirring some emotion, creating demand, and selling your product or service. Today's competitive marketplace demands active medium, and that's radio. I have some information on advertising with through Biggs Radio, but I'd like to leave my number because I also have several other businesses I'm involved with. If you've tuned in earlier to Leslie Jean-Baptiste, I happen to be an associate of Team Genius Marketing with Triad Digital Solutions, a consulting agency. So I help to provide Team Genius Marketing with clients that need digital media marketing, website development, email marketing, social media marketing, etc. So if you did not get a chance to write down Leslie's number, jot down my number and you can contact me at 773-998-9888. And also one of my associates was Mark Bernstein that represented Payments Plus for merchant services and debit and credit card processing. So I've kind of done a variety of things through my work history, and that's why I became a business consultant on a variety of areas. So if there's something you're looking for, give me a call, and I more than likely can direct you to that person. So I want to kind of close out, but if you're interested in advertising on Biggs Radio, you can contact that for advertising or promotions. You can reach us at 773-462-4447 or email at biggsradio@gmail.com. My name is Jerry Hunter. I am the Director of Marketing and Online Marketing Specialist for Biggs Radio. And I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and I'm known as the Ace Solo Smooth Jazz Q. Ruth.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Jerry Hunter. Mr. Jerry Hunter has, as he has explained, he has a vast and variety of skill sets for marketing, radio hosting, digital marketing, connections, and networks. Jerry, please feel free to drop in the chat your telephone number as well, along with the contact emails for Biggs Radio. Everyone, we've talked a lot about digital marketing and online marketing, but also please remember that traditional media is not so dead. We need to connect those things, the traditional media, such as radio, such as some print ads, or with the social media. We want to create, or you want to create, an omni-channel of your company, showing your company in all phases where everything is or complementing one another, looking the same and not so segmented. So give thought to traditional media and combining that with your digital resources as well, or your digital effort to grow your company. Radio is not dead as people think it is, because we not only just have radio, we now have streaming or digital radio. And Biggs Radio is big because they are located in Indianapolis, Chicago. Where else? There are three more.
Atlanta and Pasadena, California. And in my role as the online marketing specialist, I do the majority of the online posting for Biggs Radio and all those locations. And I do a lot of small business postings of information, inspiration, and motivation. I am considered by Facebook one of the top contributors of information. And there's something that Leslie mentioned during his presentation that I kind of took to heart, and it has truly worked for me. And that's simply sharing information. When you go to Facebook and social media, LinkedIn, whatever, and you see something you like and you press like, share it. Share information that you like with other people, because just as he said, if I have hit the 5,000 limit that's on Facebook, I hit it several times a month. I have to drop people in order to add some more people. But by sharing it with one person, that person has friends, and that person has more friends, that person has more friends. In business, you want to be able to share that information. The more people that know about your business, your products, and your services, you want to share that. So I don't want to, hold anybody else, but if that's about all, if there are any questions, I'll take a few questions, and then I got to get busy and do something else today.
Do we have any questions? And if you don't want to say them out or loudly, you can always put them in the chat, because I'll make sure that Brother Hunter gets them as well. So do we have any questions? One thing, thank you so much, Brother Jerry Hunter from Biggs Radio. And I will put links to Biggs Radio in our special place after the summit, so you can subscribe to all of the formats for Biggs Radio. I listen to it in the morning. I've made that one of my little traditions to listen to Biggs Radio in the morning, and I do listen to Biggs Radio Chicago.
Angelica, does the crowd out? They do know you happen to be a member of Delta Sigma Theta, and my president is your soror.
Yes, they do. They do. Delta Sigma Theta, one of my loves. That's right.
There's let me shout out to all of the members of Delta Sigma Theta, Coleman loves out there. And I recently learned about the creamery. So, and just so I am working closely with Angelica. We talk about 4 or 5 times a day, folks. Okay, we talk every single day, 4 or 5 times a day, from morning till afternoon. She found me. I happen to be the U.S. ambassador to Custom Looks GH, which makes custom looks, custom-made Afrocentric clothing. So you may have seen one of my ads for Divine 9 and HBCU dashikis from Ghana. That's me. Okay, I'm the U.S. ambassador, and that's how Angelica found me, thinking basically that I was a vendor to offer the dashikis, but that connection happens to be in Ghana. But if you're interested in having any clothing designs, Afrocentric clothing, you can look me up to my Facebook page, because I share a lot of my business contacts information on my page. So that's under Jerry Hunter and on Facebook. And when you look at the title, I am the new director of marketing for Biggs Radio. So thank you very much for the presentation, and have a great day.